drinking is killing me. My 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 smoking is killing me. My diet is killing me. My heels are killing me. My shopping's killing me. My ego is killing me. Can't sleep is killing me. My label's killing me. Kick drummer. My phone is killing me. My email's killing me. These hours are killing me. My toys killing me. This place is killing me. My manager's killing me. My mother's killing me. My landlord's killing me. My boss is killing me. TV is killing me. Your nanny is killing me. My boyfriend's killing me. My talking's killing me. Killing me. Killing me. Can't sleep is killing me. My dreams are killing me. This TV is killing me. My talking's killing me. The ghost is killing me. Ease up is killing me. Calm down is killing me. My diet is killing me. My drinking is killing me. My smoking is killing me. My head is killing me. My mind is killing me. My back is killing me. My neck is killing me. Your neck is killing me. My bed is killing me. My PMS is killing me. My ego is killing me. These eyes are killing me. My toy is killing me. This place is killing me. My manager is killing me. My mother's killing me. My landlord's killing me. My smoking is killing me. TV is killing me. Your nanny is killing me. Ease up is killing me. Let go is killing me. Come down is killing me. My diet is killing me. That bucket tell me what to do. That bucket tell me what to do.
We've got a lot to get through, so shut up. Okay. Thank you. It's a weird way of saying thank you, shut up. Thank you for coming so much. It's so good to be back at Nordic Game. Once again, thank you all for cutting your lunch hour short and coming to hang out with me instead of, digesting. I'm not sure if any of you have seen me talk before. I speak a lot about video games. I'm trying to do that a lot more. And if any of you still want to see me speak after today, I am totally interested in going to talk at you somewhere else. So if you know someone who wants to invite me somewhere to talk, do that. But I speak a lot about video games, mostly on design and history. I do workshops, I do lectures. Every year at Nordic Game I try to do something a little bit different, because that's what this place is to me. It goes back to 2008 when I did my first talk here, which was a curated compendium of short stories about narrative. It's called Stories About Stories. 2 years ago I did a talk called The Slow Death of Punk Rock. I don't know if any of you saw that, but it was mostly about Britney Spears and my thoughts on the commercialisation of indie gaming, but kind of mostly about Britney. And last year I told you a story called In the Time It Takes a Heart to Beat, which was a personal piece about a phone call from a girl from another planet and what it means to spend or waste time. I would not write those talks for anywhere else, anywhere except for Nordic Game. The variety of things on the schedule today, yesterday, tomorrow, that is the value of this conference to me. You, all of you, should cherish this conference. It is special. It is not like anything else anywhere in the world. We are in a theatre in a slaughterhouse, which is something unusual. I want to thank Jacob and everyone else who makes this conference super special because they do an amazing job. So, 2 years ago, we talked about Brittany. It was kind of funny. Last year, we talked about Aoife, my friend from another planet. That was kind of sad. This year, I want to do something else. Here in the slaughterhouse, I want to tell you about a murder. So I spent the last year setting up my own consultancy business agency with my friend, journalist and colleague Lee Alexander. It's been a slow, cautious journey. I loved the idea of external consultants when I was a creative director, that you could find someone to give you that kind of external perspective that's so valuable when you're inside a company. But I never, when I was doing that, found anyone worth employing a second time. During setting up that business, I thought a lot about the things that go into games and solving that problem. And we've got that process now, this process which helps developers, makes games better, and we're really proud of it. It's been a super interesting year. I've never thought about the shape of games and what goes into every game more than I have over the last year. And that's kind of weird because a year ago, I thought I might never think about games ever again. I've lived with the games industry all of my life. We were childhood sweethearts in this kind of adorable, illustrated storybook sense. We met back in the 80s and we were so comfortable with each other from the very first day. We held hands when we thought our parents weren't watching. They knew. Everyone knew we were made for each other. We were like this perfect match, and we grew up exploring the world together, her world. I mean, we've been through difficult times, of course. At university, we took a break. We decided that it was time to, see other people. I dabbled with music and cigarettes. And I'd be lying if I said that wasn't fun. I mean, it really was. I had the greatest time, great times, but I could feel this sadness, this emptiness, something missing. And this balled up fist of jealousy would punch me in the pit of my stomach when I saw her around town, laughing and joking with younger men. I knew I couldn't live without her. I hoped that somehow I would make her life better too, and soon we were a couple again. Last year we almost broke up for good. I talked a lot about that in last year's talk. It was a really painful time for me personally, but it made us stronger. I learned that no one is perfect, nothing is perfect, and life is short, much too short to waste. It changed both of us for the better. I'm more patient now. We're both more acceptant of each other's faults. That's important in any kind of relationship. Agency was the thing that brought us back together. It was the engagement ring slipped onto her finger. Recognise there are problems. There will always be problems, but recognise you can beat them together. We moved in together after that, and that should have been that, the end. But this is not that fairy tale. I should have known something was up when she didn't answer the phone. It was sometime in the afternoon and I was wandering through a bright, beautiful London between meetings. I didn't really want to tell her anything. I just wanted to hear her voice. But she didn't pick up. I didn't think anything of it. I should have known something was up when she didn't reply to the text message I sent later either. I went out straight after work with some friends to celebrate agency's first client. I felt a bit guilty about not being back in time for dinner, but I knew she'd be okay with that. It was a big day for me, for us, for our future together. I sat on the top deck of a bus back to our apartment in South London and idly thumbed through Twitter, inhaling hits of that transient culture social media does so well. Cute jokes, curious links, thoughtless rhetoric. Free-to-play is killing the games industry, wrote a friend of a friend, retweeted into my timeline. No, it's not, you idiot. I just saw her this morning. She's waiting for me back home. I should have known something was up when I found our front door unlocked, open just a crack. Sweetheart? I called, a little angrily. It's not safe to do that kind of thing these days. You've got to be careful all the time. Then curious, then worried. Sweetheart? The feeling you get right then, the feeling when should have known, turns into knew. I knew something was up when I saw her on the floor of the living room, just in front of my TV, the body of the games industry, beautiful and precious and motionless, only just breathing. I scream, no thought process, just primal instinct, and the rest is a blur. They say you remember emotional peaks in your life, but all I can remember from this is panic, abject panic, vomit rising in my throat, choking me. This cannot be happening. This cannot be happening. A blur. I leap towards her, grab her wrist, the faintest heartbeat. Her jaw moves slightly, those lips I kissed so many times open just a little. I lean in to hear something, her last breath. She's trying to talk. Stay here. Just go. Don't go. What happened? Stay with me. Goddamn, stay with me. Please stay with me. Pull her tighter, my head on her chest now. One final heartbeat. And in the time it takes her heart to beat, she whispers something. A name, a word, something. Who did this to you? She's trying to tell me. Who did this? Who did this? But I can't hear what she says. I call an ambulance and I sit there. Who did this? Who would do this to her? Free to play is killing the games industry. Of course it is. I've been so stupid. Who else could it have been? I could see it now. With her final movement, she contorted her body to point to the consoles beneath my television as if to say this. People used to pay for games, and now they don't, and now I am gone. We were cheap, and this was the cost. She was the price. And that idiot on Twitter, I dismissed him, but he'd been trying to help me. What if I'd seen his message earlier? What if? What if? What if? I scrolled back through my timeline to find his tweet. Crucial evidence now. Where was it? Did I imagine it? I searched for killing the games industry. All I found were 100 more accusations. Guns are killing the games industry, read one. We could only ever come up with two real uses for the action button in games. Jumping and shooting. Any surprise that we, killers at heart, grew up with the former and then chose to focus on the latter? I remember a tweet about a mod for Proteus that turned it into a shooter, instructing players to tape a paper gun to the screen. Gallows humour. Not so funny, really. We all know that's the only way anyone beyond me and you would ever play that game. Achievements are killing the games industry, read another. Smile at the blink and the notification if you must, but no, it is hollow. There is no joy anymore. Just ticking boxes and jumping through hoops in pursuit of a metagame. The metagame score that is utterly meaningless. We are lab rats, nothing more than lab rats, and all games are endless tutorials now. Sisyphean treadmills, the joy choked out of them. 3D is killing the games industry. If you cared enough to be a real detective, you could put a time and date on the blink of a return. The moment we made a transition pixels to polygons and we stopped caring about how fun things could be, started worrying about how realistic they are. The games industry did not really die on the floor of my apartment. She died in an uncanny valley, drowned in a pool trying to see her own ugly reflection. Bump mapping is killing the games industry. Not the actual technique. That would be ridiculous, right? And I am oh so serious right now. But as a metaphor for all the bullshit vogue technical effects we chase, like how in the early 2000s, cell shading was killing the games industry, or as soon as we switched to murderous 3D, polygon counts were killing the games industry, and now it's frame rates that are killing the games industry. But who cares how many frames per second the movie runs at when what you're watching is a snuff film? Virtual reality is killing the games industry. And if 3D wasn't bad enough, our attention deficit disorder adds another layer, like deciding to fix a terminal disease with a facelift. Oculus, Morpheus, whatever else, us. They let us dive inside a game and ignore the same problems we ignored in 2D. In 3D, the next big thing is always around the corner, and the disappointment of the last is soon forgotten. Motion capture is killing the games industry. Do not employ an animator to give your game joy or impact. Rent a machine instead. Rent something to clone reality and Control-C, Control-V the data into your game. Make sure their movements are accurate and repeat exactly the same throughout. Make sure the player knows they are watching something they cannot change. Ragdoll physics is killing the games industry. A tumbling fucking mannequin, tumbling forever. Linear stories are killing the games industry. Is The Last of Us really the greatest game of 2013? Or is it a TV movie version of Children of Men? cut into segments and pinned to disconnected, uncharted, third-person bullshit. Narrative is not a waste of time, far from it, but when it is delivered as a series of sliced-up, immovable cutscenes on which the player has no effect, the story it tells is not one of zombies or spaceships, but it is about our industry. It shows us what we really want to be. It shows us that Hollywood is killing the games industry, or our pursuit of Hollywood at least, comparing ourselves to our bigger, credible older brother, using metrics like biggest entertainment launch for validation, while knowing that those numbers disguise the bigger problem. Our search for gaming Citizen Kane has gone on so long that it's cliche, but the problem is not that we haven't found an answer, it's that we're even asking that question. Mario is killing the games industry. The figurehead of the industry, once a new Mario game was a big deal, now it feels like a monthly cycle, symptomatic of the industry's lack of ideas, like his hapless, brain-dead brother Link and his Zelda series. They're all great games, and they're all the same as the fucking last. Sonic is killing the games industry. Could there be anyone more representative of video games' decline than an old man with a blue Mohican, raging against the dying of the light? Clichés are killing the games industry. If it's a platformer, you'll be jumping on heads. If it's an FPS, there'll be crates. If it's an RPG, you know surely you're going to a sewer level. Acronyms and abbreviations are killing the games industry. Effortless to us, poisonous code to outsiders, turning our hobby into an impenetrable boys club. MOBA, RTS, FPS, MMO, FUCK, YOU. Local multiplayer. What's a local multiplayer game but an excuse to hang out with your friends? And when we discover that the fun part of that is not the game, but your friends, then what? Everyone looks around, switches off their game system, and starts making out with each other. Lack of local multiplayer is killing the games industry. Or, here's an idea, tell you what, let's take our hobby, already with a PR problem, a reputation for being a pastime for those who are sad and alone, and isolated by fucking design. Online multiplayer is killing the games industry. The only thing worse than local multiplayer, of course. What would be the quickest way to kill the games industry? Not with a shotgun or a trip mine, not with poison in her drink, but something much, much more simple. Take a 5-minute audio recording of a single multiplayer gameplay session of Call of Duty and make it required listening for any parent before they give their kids a console. Esports are killing the games industry. This is your future, the cream of that obnoxious adolescent crop. 1 million people who self-identify as gamers, all screaming over an impenetrable future you neither know nor care about. Their sponsored, branded mechanical keyboards spitting out a background metronomic click-clack to their grotesque, euphoric grunts. Keyboards are killing the games industry. Keyboards are killing the games industry. At first it was a fudge, the only input method to which coders had easy access. Now QWERTY is all but universal, and WASD, WASDA, is an unwritten standard, deforming hands across the planet into ugly claws, gargoyles hunched over keyboards with tense, angry talons. How can arbitrary arrays of digital buttons be the best way of interacting with our worlds? They are for writing a suicide note, not for dancing. Joypads are killing the games industry. More comfortable than keyboards, perhaps, but the technology is still the same. Think of what is lost when we distill the nuance in, say, a jump down to a single press of a digital button. Do analog sticks help, or do they fool us into thinking we have more subtle personal control? Except even then, the deepest way we can differentiate between players is over whether they invert the y-axis. And these angry alien shapes, the joypad kills as much outsider interest as anything else. I have never, ever been embarrassed handing someone a remote control for their TV. But when I tell people to operate Netflix using my PS4 controller, I blush. Kinect is killing the games industry. Not the actual camera, but the hysteria that caused it to be dropped. We did the very worst thing we could. We climbed on a bandwagon, retweet, 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 and we killed one of the few avenues we were still exploring, something that might have let us discover something new, or at least escape the tyranny of digital buttons. Gimmicks are killing the games industry. We learned nothing from the great plastic guitar explosion of 2008. a period that ended with men literally throwing guitars into volcanoes and threw ourselves headlong into the next distraction. Like how motion control is killing the games industry because I never, ever, ever want to tilt to fucking move. Or AR is killing the games industry. Or location awareness is killing the games industry. Or motherfucking QR codes are killing the games industry. No. Skylanders is killing the games industry. There was a time when you bought a game and that was that. Now the successful ones must be monetized with add-ons, largely virtual but sometimes real, and never more symbolic than the gaudy plastic trash of Skylanders. This serial toy junk, designed with absolute cynical intent, is no more interesting or innovative than repackaging crack cocaine for children. That is what we are now, drug pushers. That is what this was, a drug-related incident. No sympathy. The cops saw it coming. Resigned shrugs across the police station, and, in a nearby mortuary, the corpse of the games industry lies cold, a sad story that teaches us nothing. The whole police station smells of bleach and paperwork and frustration and weariness. The walls of this interview room, they're chipped grey-green paint, and this chair, it's the kind of cheap, hard plastic that is both unforgiving and unsteady. Or maybe that's just my body, which feels heavy and out of my control, as if this is a dream under sleeping pills. But I haven't slept. Not since I found her. A police officer enters the room. She introduces herself with a thin, sympathetic smile and places a lukewarm cup of cheap filter coffee on the desk in front of me. She sits down opposite, and I tell her all about how I found the games industry's body. I tell her everything I remember, just like I just told you. It's a short story. There's not much to it. She's quiet throughout, and she takes notes with serious intent, pausing only to look up and add, "You're sure?" a couple of times. That's all I can remember. "Okay," says the police officer, and places her pen on the desk and looks at me with a gaze that shadows words she said 100 times before. "I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't imagine what you're going through." I nod. "Now, can I ask you about your relationship with the deceased?" "What do you mean?" "Was everything okay between you?" "Well, we'd had a tough year, I guess. But we turned things around. It was fine." "You never felt like leaving? You never had any second thoughts?" I loved her. "Well, it says here you came close to leaving. I have this transcript of a talk you gave." She hands me a printed copy of last year's talk, a paragraph highlighted in yellow. "You said you were close to leaving for good." Okay, it wasn't... Look, I loved her. It was a really difficult time. "Okay," says the police officer, pointed silence. "So, you were with your friends yesterday evening?" "Until about 9, yeah." She flicks through the papers and brings another sheet to the top, a list of numbers and times. "See, your phone records say you were on a bus at 8:31 p.m. "Alright, I went home a little earlier. I don't know." "And one of your friends confirmed this, right?" Suddenly the tone of the conversation has shifted. I'm aware this is not a room. It is a closed box, as close to a prison as is possible to be. There might be a dozen eyes watching me through the two-way mirror on the wall to my left, and if not, then through the CCTV camera, a black glossy orb pinned above the door. Opposite me, a police officer waits my answer, impassively. "Wait, do you think I did... What are you..." "No one's accusing you of anything. Maybe it was an accident. We don't know. We're waiting for the post-mortem results. But for now, we've no reason to suspect you've done anything wrong." Why would I do this? I loved her. I fucking loved her. I've been with her for 30 fucking years. Listen, we have to be thorough. You want us to find out what happened, right? To catch the person who did it, if there is one. So we have to work it through, and that means exploring every avenue of inquiry. I didn't know what to say. Listen, take your time. I'll leave you alone for a little while, but here's a notepad. Write down things you can think of. Doesn't matter how trivial, where you think it's stupid. Noticed any unusual behaviour recently? Did she mention anyone new? Do you know anyone who'd want to see the games industry come to any kind of harm? The door slams behind her, and I start to write. Microsoft are killing the games industry. They invented achievements, and we've already talked about that as a murder weapon. Their machine birthed the concept of the horse armour, and they replaced Sega's blue sky aesthetic with brown crates, blood and violence. But the killer blow happened elsewhere. Xbox One does not want to be a games console, no. It wants to be a home entertainment device, just a way for a corporation to place ads in your living room and fill your life with lies, lies, lies. Nintendo are killing the games industry. Is there a single company less interested in progressing the form? They want to make toys for children. And that's fine, because secretly we all want to be children too. And so gaming will forever be for children and people too frightened to grow up. Sony are killing the games industry. Oh, it's the home of the indies, they say. Their PR has done a brilliant job of painting them as the good guys, the underdogs, the Skywalker to Microsoft's evil empire. But PS4 owners are far closer than they know to a dark future where games are rented and nothing is owned. Far closer than Xbox One owners, despite the outcry that killed any chance of Microsoft's box being different, being a new future. Valve are killing the games industry. The PC is the people's champion, a glorious utopia of democratic content, except it's not, because Steam decides who lives and who dies. And if you want to live, you have to play by their rules. But hey guys, chill out, because no one evil could ever have made Half-Life 2, right? EA are killing the games industry. Voted the worst company in America several years running, by idiots, of course, but who would have a better reason to want gaming dead? Apple are killing the games industry. Do they care about games? Of course they do, in so much as they care about their 30%. They are a parasite, and like all parasites, they only care about the host for as long as it is alive. PCs are killing the games industry. The debilitating endless chase for more cores, your CPU, faster processors, better graphics cards, more power, less thought. Macs are killing the games industry, like PCs but with better marketing and worse games. Google are killing the games industry because it's the one tech industry they've failed to gain any traction in, despite the doodle games, despite the potentially glass, despite egress. So what do? They buy Twitch, the best way to strip all the interactivity out of interactive entertainment. Women are killing the games industry. Strangely, we only ever hear that from men, which is weird because men are killing the games industry. Except they're not either. The truth is, sexism is killing the games industry. Some choose to fight the good fight, others shrug and ignore, but we can't win. No one ever fucking wins, because the audience informs our decisions. We can try and educate them, but they are children. They are gamers. Actually, or at heart, a grotesque, infectious oil slick of testosterone-fueled bullshit with a chokehold on our world. Gamers are killing the games industry. Ungrateful, quick to anger. Groucho Marx said he wouldn't join any club that would have him as a member. That sort of holds here, except in this instance, I would euthanize that group before I identified with them. Entitled man-baby motherfuckers, one and all. PRs are killing the games industry. I tell you more, but it's under embargo until next week. And marketing men are killing the games industry. Who cares what they say, except for everyone, because that is their job, to mislead about the content so people buy something, regret it, and then never buy anything again. Games journalists are killing the games industry. We make hilarious jokes about Doritos, pledge to be better, and within 18 months everything is forgotten. Because this is not about bribery or corruption, really. It's about a lack of incentive. Give them a reason to say something interesting. Give them a reason to appeal to someone beyond the lowest common denominator. Because hits means salary. Salary means food. It's just a job. The mainstream media are killing the games industry. And they don't care. They don't care if she lives or she dies, except in the instances where we can be blamed for a spree killing or our numbers surpass some other numbers. Even then, we are a hilarious curio. Twitter is killing the games industry. Facebook is killing the games industry. Social media drama is killing the games industry. These systems, they're meant to bring us together, but they really drive us apart. They remind us what we dislike about our friends, and they serve as echo chambers for idiots. And while the first thing kills us, the second thing kills the games industry. Buttons devoted to mindlessly passing on information, unchecked. I agree, shout the masses. I agree, I agree, I agree, and how dare you? Take your Pyrrhic victory in the issue of the day and celebrate as the world falls around you. LinkedIn is killing the games industry, which is ironic because all I want is for someone to kill LinkedIn. Penny Arcade is killing the games industry. If there is a rotten heart of gamer culture, it is right there. Playthroughs are killing the games industry. No better way to render an interactive medium impotent than to remove all of its interactivity. Was it not a clue that something was wrong when tens of millions of people chose to watch videos of a game over playing the actual game? Children are killing the games industry. Pretend this is an emerging medium all you want, but the games industry's primary target is children. If not overtly, then in that under-the-table, hush-hush attitude the blockbuster publishers use when they want to sell their latest blood-soaked gun orgasm to teenagers. They grow up, leave us behind, and what we're left with? None. Miyamoto is killing the games industry. We're so desperate for MTV superstars to add a little glamour, and this is the best we can do. A beaming middle-aged man whose winning lottery ticket came courtesy of a super-secret formula discovering that the world loves fat Italian men and when they jump over barrels. Kojima is killing the games industry. 90-minute cutscenes, just fuck off to Hollywood already and take David Cage, who is killing the games industry, with you. Except, when you're taking him there, pause the journey every 50 miles and force him to complete a quick time event to see if he wants to go left or right, except it doesn't fucking matter, because you end up at basically the same place anyway. And you know, I don't want to say this, I really don't want to say this, but Tim Schafer is killing the games industry. Kind, cuddly, Nordic game keynoter Tim, how could he kill anything? Easy, because Kickstarter is killing the games industry. Whisper it quietly, but we lost faith after Schafer, didn't we? Broken Age slipped, couldn't meet its promises, despite massive overfunding, and dozens of other flagship successes are still to arrive. Now we are loaded with cynicism, and those games that do make their targets, they only attract backers by woefully overscoping, further fueling the cynicism when they fail to live up to expectations. Back amplitude right now, by the way. Post-mortems are killing the games industry. Our voracious appetite for the car crash reports and Kama Sutra, which we claim we're reading out of intellectual curiosity to educate ourselves, but secretly we wolf down with Schadenfreude. We pledge not to make the same mistakes, but what can we learn when every game is so different, so complex? A Swiss watch of code and design, luminous cogs and levers that might, with luck and circumstance, fall into place. There is no right way to make a game, just a million wrong ones, and we purr with delight and ready our scalpels every time someone else discovers a new way to fail. That night, I dreamt of the games industry's post-mortem. Rationalising it, I knew it didn't mean anything. Just an echo of the type of anxiety dreams I'd had all my life. Nothing dramatic. You know, the typical kind of thing where the nightmare begins midway through an exam you haven't studied for and you're not wearing any pants. Except this time I stood above the body of the games industry, now ice cold and wax-skinned on a thick metal table just a few feet away. Inside an infinite operating theatre, sky dome of a billion eyes of curious players watching me. Dreams are like video games. They give you an illusion of choice, but really you're a passenger, the front seat of a roller coaster. You go exactly where they want you to go, and all you can do is wait. Soon you'll find out where that is. I was terrified, and then there it was, glinting in my right hand, a scalpel. I've seen this on TV. I know how this plays out. Eyes to her body, blade angled downwards. My hands shook, the cold metal of the knife, both weight and momentum, gravity, slow motion or slow movements. It's a dream, it doesn't make sense, nothing counts. I go exactly where they want me to go. Steadying one hand with the other, I began just below her neck and traced a single cut downwards across the pale, almost translucent skin, across her chest bone, further still. It was easy, too easy, like cutting through cloth or leaves or snow. And as I lifted the knife from her abdomen, in one movement all her skin fell away like a cloak. Beneath it there was no flesh and bone, no kind of viscera. Instead, words wrapped around other words, strung out syllables on ticker tape of light, bound together to form the contours of my dead partner's body. The words were all the things I've mentioned, all the things I'm yet to mention, taut and twisted like sinews. I placed my hand inside her chest, wrenched out a fistful of the tape, my surgical glove dripping with typography, and I started to read. Violence is killing the games industry, cutting people from throat to belly, subconscious grinning, drooling, desperate for the viscera, pulling out guts with your bare hands. First-person shooters are killing the games industry, boom, headshots. MMOs are killing the games industry. There's no such thing as playing an MMO. You might as well play Crystal Meth or play Microsoft Excel. Indie games are killing the games industry. The good guys, the great new hope, saving the world, or at least giving it credibility and emotional resonance. You know, the funny thing, in the early 90s, people claimed that platformers were killing the games industry. We were furious about every half-assed license. The only difference now is that those games are about cancer, not Robocop. So actually, maybe, platformers are killing the games industry. I mean, is there anything more ridiculous than a platformer? A game based around jumping. When does anyone jump that much? Anyone. It's a default, a reflex, a bullshit fallback in place of something substantial. We discovered jumping in 1980, and we have not had a better idea since. Innovation is killing the games industry, or the lack of, and perhaps that's the point. We haven't had an idea because there aren't any. So let's accept there is nothing new left to be discovered. Chisel our finite list of games into a mountainside somewhere and get content with making them over and over again. Except sequels are killing the games industry. Hey, have you had a good idea? Here's another one. Stick a number on it, increment until people die of exhaustion. Clones are killing the games industry. You could spend 6 months of blood, sweat and tears developing your precious concept and another 6 months reeling from the 3-figure download numbers. Or you could spend $100 on some generic match 3 code, stick in Miley Cyrus's head and some clickbait adverts and take the rest of the year off. Have you seen the numbers for the Flappy Bird clones? Are you still making games? Why? Licenses are killing the games industry. You spend a quarter of your dev budget on acquiring some IP you were too frightened to invent. How many of the world's greatest novels are based in someone else's universe? Did you know that Star Wars Angry Birds Jenga exists? The games industry didn't kill herself. It didn't kill it. No one killed the games industry. It was suicide. Character crossovers are killing video games. What's the best way to increase your audience for a game? Not to think about the game dynamics, but instead to blend the world with another and hope both audiences are stupid enough to think this will be the thing they love. Final Fantasy is killing the games industry, and even when the games industry is dead, there will still somehow be another fucking Final Fantasy game. Portal 2 is killing the games industry. A game that as an interactive work is objectively worse than its predecessor, but has better reviews because lol Stephen Merchant. Halo is killing the games industry, just like Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo 5. Platform exclusives are killing the games industry. Try explaining to someone who doesn't know about video games why you can't play Mario on a PS4 or Uncharted on an Xbox. Try explaining to developers why they have to refactor their multi-platform experience to fit several different specs, controllers, and heavy volumes of TRCs. Explain to me why 30 years of console wars have left us just as fragmented as we've always been. Minecraft is killing the games industry. An actual game I found on the App Store. Shaving Craft is an amazing shaving and beard salon for those who love craft, run, Minecraft and shaving games. Soon every game will be set inside the Minecraft universe, including fucking Minecraft. Pixel art is killing the games industry. Oh yes it fucking is. Dot by predictable dots. Casual gaming is killing the games industry because you cannot say I love you casually. Arcades are killing the games industry. Hardcore will never die, it fucking did. Award ceremonies are killing the games industry. So desperate for someone else to say they love us, we put on our best suits and slap each other's backs and pretend everything is okay. Outsourcing is killing the games industry. Why not prove you really don't care about the thing you're making by finding someone much cheaper to make it for you? Unity is killing the games industry. Not their fault, of course, but now every fucking project uses it, and we live in a homogeneous IKEAN utopia. Remote working is killing the games industry, but hey, at least water cooler chat is dead too. Crunch culture is killing the games industry. Anyone who has ever worked at a development studio knows this. By the end, games are not crafted out of love, but out of hate. Finish this. Won't someone finish this? Air conditioning is killing the games industry. We used to go outside, we used to enjoy the fresh air, the sun. The heat inside used to remind us to do that. Now we don't even have that. Digital pricing is killing the games industry. We had an opportunity to do something different. The big number issue could have gone away. We didn't do it. Netflix is killing the games industry. Not just because modern day consoles are expensive Netflix machines, because their distribution method, now proven, will be the one you see in gaming in 40 years. You will never own a game again. Censorship is killing the games industry. Every game built for everyone. All the rough edges smoothed away until there's nothing left. Outrage is killing the games industry. We are perpetually trolled and eternally navel-gazing. Old white men are killing the games industry. Conferences are killing the games industry. Everyone sitting around talking about how they're going to change the world, no one actually bothering, emerging from the conference centre into a post-apocalyptic wasteland, a funeral just in front of them. It was a simple service. She'd asked to be cremated, and in her will instructed all the video game IP to be cremated with her. Outside the funeral parlour, wispy, dark trails of smoke twisted briefly into shapes of Pac-Man, Mario and Master Chief, before the wind rushed through the trees and dispersed the clouds forever. Later on, I sat with Apple on a bench near the fringe of the wake and watched 500 million people eat canapes and make small talk. Heads were shaken in sorrow, shoulders shrugged, bodies and hearts absolved of personal guilt. We couldn't have done anything, whispered the crowd. We couldn't. No, but it's sad, so sad. Just one of those things. So, what are you going to do now? Apple said. I don't know, man. I haven't thought about it, I guess. I mean, I'm not saying you should move on. I mean, God, no, Apple continued. I mean, you loved her. We all loved her. Yeah. But, you know, in the future, you've got a future. it's important to remember that. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't say anything. Just looked over at the crowd, wondered how they'd remember. Maybe they wouldn't. Hey, maybe I'll introduce you to music, said Apple. Dude. Yeah, I know. I mean, when you're ready. Perhaps reading my expression, Apple patted me on the shoulder and made his way towards the bar to mingle with everyone in the middle. I didn't want music. I didn't want anyone, anything. Anything except to close my eyes and wake up somewhere else. 10. Middle management is killing the games industry. A young, vibrant industry grows older by the day, pushing skilled, fired-up workers into creatively dead management roles. What do they do there? Most of them don't even know themselves. Nothing but make bad decisions and provide a perfect metaphor for the industry itself. Too old to recognise what's good, getting older every day. 9. Publishers are killing the games industry. We thought we'd killed them, but like zombies, they rose again. Collectives rise from communities of indie developers, band together to form new Activisions, just as Activision did 35 years ago. Read your history. There is nothing new under the sun. 8. Developers are killing the games industry. Not as a whole, but as a structure. We build one game we love, we form a team around that idea, and then we scrabble around for the next paycheck and an idea to fit the same team. We are not led by ideas, but by survival. This is just a job. The future is killing the games industry. Keep your eyes on the horizon. There must be a better tomorrow. 6. Nostalgia is killing the games industry because we know yesterday is so much better than today. 5. Hyperbole is killing the games industry. Every single new thing is the best thing ever or the worst thing ever, the second coming or the death of the medium. We are frightened of what we don't know, or worse, frightened of the things we don't try to understand. It is killing the games industry, someone says, and we're so scared that we retweet it. This part of the games industry is killing that part of the games industry. Relentless negativity. 4. Fear of change is killing the games industry. We slaughtered Connect just a few days ago, and you, all of you, were witnesses, stood around and said nothing as the blade pierced the skin. Just like so many other new things that could change the world. Why? Because we are so comfortable in the present and we want to stay here forever. We don't want to grow up. I don't want to grow up. 3. I am killing the games industry. 2. You are killing the games industry. Every time you talk about something killing the games industry, you are using hyperbole as a weapon, but you are the victim. You are declaring yourself impotent, unable to help. You can't change anything. You are the person who claims that voting changes nothing. Too stupid to realise that inaction is a statement in itself, already changing something. And that is bullshit. Every one of us here, every one of us, consumers, developers, publishers, PRs, marketers, Tim fucking Schafer, changes the games industry every day with our behaviour. And why do you care anyway? Because 1, the games industry is killing the games industry. This obsession with a capitalist construct, the survival of something that doesn't care about you. You support it like a football team, cheer on each financial result. We're bigger than Hollywood now. More people play games than read books. We finally hit the mainstream. We're in the New Yorker. Ebert admitted he was wrong. A deathbed confession. Who cares about the games industry? Not me, I keep telling myself. If it wasn't already dead, I'd look you in the eye, every single one of you, and I would say this. Let's kill it. Let's burn it to the fucking ground and sift through the ashes and see what's left. Denial is the first stage of grief, they say. Anger, bargaining, depression and acceptance to come. But what if I never loved her, really? What if this wasn't denial but a moment of clarity? Or what if 3, 2, 1, nothing? Nothing is killing the games industry. The games industry is not a thing. It is a million different things. Her body, formed of all the parts of this talk, and 100,000 more words wrapped around a spine that says, play. That is the backbone I fell in love with, we fell in love with, back when I knew her by her real name, Games. Play was a backbone that led me to hold her hand when I was a child, the reason we explored the world together over the last 20 years, the reason I knew I could never leave, the reason I set up agency. Because nothing can kill the games industry. Perhaps its monetary value will rise, and perhaps it will fall as fashions come and go. But that is of negligible importance to those who really care about the content, and it will always survive for better and for worse. Games exist now, and you cannot kill that form any more than you can kill poetry or literature or our beloved Hollywood. People make different types of games, but we need to embrace that pluralism. Do I love microtransactions? No, but we want everyone to play. We say that all the time, and that means letting them play on their own terms. There is no right way to play, no more than there is a right way to build a thing to play. Teach people about the thing that you love, but just as importantly, let them teach you. Hands still around her wrist, the heartbeat gets stronger. One more beat. Colour returns to her cheeks, and now I can make out the words. She pulls me closer, she smiles and she whispers, I love you. Let's make something new.